Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip with me and Matt, my co-host Matt. And today we have the other part of Recelerator, which is Aaron Goldstein. He's our negotiation coach inside of the program. He's taught many people how to negotiate this business correctly. At
Yep.
this point, he is also the owner of Mercury Electronics, the fastest growing direct buying company in the market right now by quite a bit, which is awesome, and I'm super happy to be a part of that. Um, Today, guys, we're going to be going over some stuff. So many of you might have already seen Aaron's 9 reasons people fail in this business video. And I love that video. I don't know if you know this, Aaron, but I watched 100% of the whole video. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes. Like it was all correct. And there is like 9 reasons people just they fail in this business, and I think it's because there's a misalignment in what they think the business is and what business they're actually in, right? So we're gonna be talking a little bit about that today. For those of you that don't know, I do have a free course on school. You can check that out below. Make sure to finish the course within 5 days, otherwise you will be banned from the school. There's been over 2,000 people banned now, so don't be one of them. Um,
Oof.
And then we have Console Kings, so make sure to check that out. Matt has recently come up with some direct buyer stuff with consoles, which has been superb, which has been really cool. So make sure to check that out. That's also in the link below. Catherine's camera course just launched as well, so you can check that out below as well. Anyway, we're just going to jump into this. Oh, I have a book as well, so check that out. I'm done pitching stuff. Let's jump into it today. So we're going to be going over the 9 reasons people fail in this business. The first one, let's knock it out. So Aaron, these are your 9 reasons. So I'm going to hit you with them. We're going to talk a little bit about them, go through them one by one, and rock and roll. So the 9 reasons people fail in this business. The first reason you said most people fail in this business is because they think they're in the phone flipping business, and they're 100% wrong,
What a
right?
load of crap.
Yeah, the reality, let's be real, the reality, you're in the marketing and sales business. 100%. I
Right.
wholeheartedly agree. Let's talk about it.
Just like you said, Chris, we're in the marketing and sales business and we're applying it to the phone flipping business. And why is this the case? This is the case because how are we going to pick up these items? How are we going to make money on these items? We have to first figure out a way to get in touch with people or have people get in touch with us that have items for sale. We can't just want it. We can't just sit there and try to manifest it, right? We have to take certain actions that result in people that have items that we can buy contacting us or us contacting them. We have to get in touch with them. And then once we get in touch with them, we have to know how to negotiate and get them down in price. And it doesn't really matter where you live. People are universal. Everyone's going to want the most amount of money for their
Yeah.
item.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter what it is. It could be a car, right? If you have, it doesn't matter if you're on the, if you're in Canada or America or you're in the UK or if you're in a small town or a big city. If someone has a car and they take it to a car dealership and they want to sell it, they're going to want the most amount of money for it. Well, that's how it is with electronics as well. People are going to want the most amount of money. And we need to know psychology and certain phrases and words to say. It's really just words. We need to know the phrases and words to say to get people down in price and get them to agree to sell you their item at the price you want to pay for it, not the price that people initially want.
You have a great line on that. It's like, and I always remember this, the price that somebody wants for their device and the price that they will take are two very different numbers.
100%. And the reason is when we know the words to say, we can say words that have persuasion behind it and emotion that inspire them to come down in price. And the reason is people change their mind about stuff all the time,
Hmm.
naturally anyway. People actually do it themselves, right? How many times have I said, when I get home today, I'm going to read a book. And then I watch the movie on Amazon Prime, right? Or Netflix. It's
Fair.
we as humans do it to ourselves naturally all the time. So if we can kind of understand this, you actually don't even have to understand the process. You just have to know the words that trigger the process in other people. And
Mhm.
then when you say those words to them, they'll start dropping in price.
I think one thing I like about this so much is like once it is really a psychology. Like you said, you don't even need to understand why the words work. You just need to know how to use the words or just use the words in general. Like we have a script, right? You can trigger these things really quickly. One of the best ones I use recently now is what I call the exit line, right? If I understand that somebody isn't coming down on the price, I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. My offer's good for 7 days from the time that I make it. If anything changes, let me know. That little like if anything changes, let me know piece, coupled with the time they have to make a
Yeah.
decision,
Yeah.
it does exactly what you just said. It just triggers that, oh, well, number one, this dude doesn't care if he buys my device. And
Yeah.
number two, it's like, well, he responded, and I know I can get cash the same day from this dude. So what it
Yep.
does is it's a cascading effect that ends up but like you said, you just need to know the right words. And you don't even need in this day and age, you don't, since we have the script, you don't even need to know how they work. They just work. And like, I use your lines all the time. The prices of the newer phones are hurting the price of the older phones and blah, blah, blah. Like, you literally just, in Resale Deck, I just paste it, like whatever. So that's the first one, right? Most people think they're in the phone flipping business, but they're just simply in the marketing and sales business. We talked a little bit about the sales, which is negotiation, right? Um, let's talk about a little bit about the marketing part, though. I think this is where a lot of people mess up is they don't market enough. Like they don't do enough reach outs. They don't do enough Facebook ads. They don't do enough Google ads. They don't do enough of anything. Like, can we talk about that a little bit?
This is a big thing, a mistake that I didn't see that I wasn't teaching in my old program, Next Level. For those people that are watching this that have been in this business for a gazillion years, which of course
Hey.
we don't have anymore. Everything is now condensed and everything's in Chris's program. I like to think I'm pretty good at negotiating. I'm very good at it. I've read many books on it. I've gone through courses. I've gone through courses on psychology as well, and
Mhm.
just stuff with like writing VSLs, which I'm very good at writing VSLs and webinars. And the last, Chris knows in the drop shipping thing that we did, it was like a 50% close ratio on a $2,000 program that was right to the sales page without
Yeah,
a
we killed
person.
it. That dude over
So
there was fantastic.
yes. And there was other things behind the scenes as well. There was we had trust with the market and Chris had a process in place that even though it was simple, I understood the power behind it. There was and I never told Chris this, but I understood there was very simple things that I didn't think about, and it was just a combination of all these things. Sometimes making money doesn't have to be complicated. It's just knowing the right steps and the right words to take. But the
Yep.
thing that I wasn't aware of a while ago is the fact that we do have to run enough numbers. So my numbers myself, and hey, maybe there's some mistakes that I'm making, but I do about 150K a year in net profit every year since I've been in this business, driving around picking up stuff from people locally. Is if I'm doing reach outs, I'm closing about 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20. If leads are coming to me, I'm closing one from Google, because Google's, of course, the best leads that there
Easy.
are.
Yeah. I'm
One
3 for 3 on the last 2 days.
That's awesome. That's so good.
out of five, 1 out of 6 to 1 out of 7.
Yeah.
So with that said, and why is that the case? Why is it on Google? It's 1 out of 6 to 1 out of 7 to me. Well, even though my ads are made in a way to deter people or basically push people away that have old phones, an iPhone 11 that's iCloud locked, I'll still get some of those leads. That's how it is. I
Yeah.
will also still get a percentage of people that I can't get down in price. Even with perfect negotiating, there's always going to be a percentage, and it can be an okay to a decent percentage of people that will not come down in price. That's how it is. So we need to factor all that, take all that in consideration, and run enough numbers. When I'm hitting it hard on Google, I'm getting around 25 to 30-ish leads a day from Google. If I'm closing 4 to 5 of those, and it's about $80 to $100, 80 to $130 profit an item, you got the math right there. That's 400,
Mhm.
$500 in profit per day. And you multiply that out over a year period, you're at 150, 200-ish thousand a year in profit. So even with everything, even with really good marketing and really good negotiating, we have to run enough numbers. I'll give you a great example, Chris. So I did a call with this guy, and his negotiating was actually pretty good. In all fairness, he was in the old program that we had, so we had my old script. Now it's been tweaked and updated, but it still has the foundation. He was making about $4,000 a month in profit. I looked at his ads. His ads were pretty good. He's getting leads for about $3.50 a lead. He was only getting 8 to 10 leads a day. So I said, you're getting 8 to 10 leads a day and you're making about $4,000 a month in profit. If you looked at my ads, I was getting about 3 times as much and I was making 3 times as much money, $12,000 a month in profit.
Hmm.
I said, you have everything dialed in. Your ads are good, your cost per lead is good, and your negotiating is good. All we need to do is just get you more opportunities so you have more people that are going to say no, more of the bad leads that have the old items, but also more people that will say yes. And I did a call with him, and I swear to God, Chris, this hour call, after looking at everything and really analyzing it, the main takeaway that we took away from it, he just had to up the ad spend. And just to share kind of what my ad spend is, when I got started in this business, or when I got started about 2.5 years ago now, and I moved to a new city, so I had no repeat business, and I started with your Google ads and Facebook ads. I was spending $50 to $70 a day on ads. $50 to $70 a day. And now I only spend $30 a day. And the reason it's so small, the reason it's such an insignificant amount of money is I do some of the secret stuff that we teach in your program on how to get free leads. And I'm getting about 10 leads a day for free from Google. So the reason I'm able to only $30 a day on ads, why it's such a small number, is I'm able to supplement that with literally 10 additional leads that are coming in from the free place.
Yep. So, I mean, that actually flows into the second reason people fail, which is no consistent lead flow, right? I mean, that's the second one. We'll move on to the third one because we basically answered number two. It's like you need consistent leads. That's the game, right? It's like
Yeah.
if you get enough leads, you get enough at bats, as Matt likes to call it, right? If you get enough at bats, you will hit some balls, right? That's just how the game works. Number three. This is a big one. You don't know your numbers. Huge, man. I can't tell you guys how many like calls I get on, and people, well, what's your return on ad spend? Oh, I don't know. Oh, you don't know. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. How do you like? How, I wonder. People are so interesting, right? Is like if you don't know how much profit you're making per month, and you're over here like you know how much you're making from your job every month, right? But
I
like
hope
you
so.
don't know what you're making from your business. That's very like two very different things here, right? Um,
Yeah.
so things you need to track, right? Your conversion rate, close rate, cost per lead, cost per meetup, right? Return on ad spend. I hit
Yeah.
up one of the guys the other day because I wanted to make sure I had his ROAS before we had our check-in call. And I was like, dude, send me a return on ad spend. And he was like, how do I do that? And I sent him the thing. And he sent me back. He's like, "Well, I've spent $250 and I made like 1,800." And I was like, "That's fantastic. Great job." You know? And he's like, "Is that good?" I'm like, yeah." Yeah. That's amazing. That was from an everlasting Facebook ad too. Like like that wasn't even Google ads. That was the everlasting ad.
Nice.
Um what I don't think a lot of phone flippers realize is number one, they don't track their numbers, and number two, they don't understand their numbers. Like when somebody asks me if a 6x in a business is good,
Bro.
that's fucking amazing. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, that is crazy numbers. Aaron, anything you want to add to that?
Just like you said, you have to know your numbers. I did a call with a guy. This was bad. I don't do these type of calls anymore, but he had someone else set up his Google ads, right? Some random person. And
Mm-hmm.
he goes, my Google ads, I'm not getting that many leads. And I looked at it and he was spending like $12 a lead. And this conversion ratio was horrible. And that's what
Of
was
course.
causing it. It was actually his cost per click was decent, but his conversion ratio, once they went to the landing page, they,
So his
uh,
website was shit. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. The website was complete shit. And that's basically what I explained to him. And if anyone's watching this and they're like, well, I don't understand why this is important or why this matters, you got to go back to the first point. We're in the marketing and sales business. And
Yeah.
marketing, part of marketing is understanding these numbers. And the great thing is, like, if you don't understand this stuff, it's actually pretty simple. Like, you can go to, if you're running Google ads and you're like, well, my Google ads aren't doing that good, right? Because you had someone else set them up. Which, by the way, pro tip, just because someone says they can set up your Google ads doesn't mean that they're good. There's a difference between anyone can actually go to Google and just create an ad, but that doesn't mean that they're good. And this is just like anything else. It's like all chicken sandwiches aren't created equal. A McChicken from McDonald's isn't going to be the same quality as a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A, and that's not going to be the same one from the holistic, antibiotic-free, blah blah blah, super healthy place, right? Just because it's not, it's just like a car. Not all cars are the same. A car can be $500 and a hoopty-doopty and fall apart, or a car can be brand new or something in the middle. The great news about this is like you can literally learn a lot of this stuff just on Google or like ChatGPT. Like if I was running Google ads and I was watching this and I'm like, all right, I don't know anything about my Google ads. I need to figure out these numbers. Google's super popular. It's a good, you just go to YouTube and type in, how do I see my cost per click on Google? How
Yeah.
can I see my cost per conversion? You watch a few videos that are 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 3 minutes. You dig around and you can literally start to figure out this stuff pretty quickly, which is the good news.
Yeah. 100%. Another thing I'd like to tap onto that real quick is this is something I see thrown around in the phone flipping Facebook groups all the time is guys, cost per click doesn't mean anything. Okay? It only means something when your conversion rate is good. That is the only time. I see this way, and Matt knows this. I went off a while back because some like rando was like posting like, yeah, we're getting 250 cost per click. And I'm like, well, what's cost per conversion? Oh, that doesn't matter. I'm like, what?
Evidence they don't know what they're talking about.
I'm sorry. You're just to be clear, cost per conversion is cost your cost per lead. A click is not a lead. Okay? So, how long did it take me to figure out Google Ads? By the way, I was the first one to get it well. Just
You
being real.
were.
For anybody who's out, it took me 2.5 years of just failure and like banned accounts to get it right. Okay. I got the cost per click right first. And then I realized that, oh, my website's the main problem now. It's the main bottleneck. Took me a while to figure that out. Okay. So, for anybody, if you're going to hire somebody, please ask what the cost per conversion is. And if they don't tell you, run because they're lying to you. So that's my 2 cents on that. um, know your numbers. Okay. If you don't know your numbers, you should be tracking your cost per meetup. You should be also track like there are crazy things that I track, right? I track my profit per reach out, right? How many reach outs do I do versus how much profit do I make from them? Oh, I make $2 per reach out based on my numbers. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, right. So like the more you track, the better understanding you have. Also, it makes your business sellable in the future as well. Like if you don't know your numbers, nobody's ever going to buy your business. Um, so just throwing that out there. Aaron says rule number 4 is you're not spending enough on ads. Yeah, we already kind of went over that. Most people aren't spending enough on ads. They're not upping their budget, and that's mostly because they don't understand return on ad spend, right? Um, Number 5. Ooh, this is a big one. You're not consistent enough.
Mm,
This is a big one.
I felt that.
This is
Felt
something I
it.
see a lot of. Especially with my program, we'll see people like jump in, jump out, jump in, jump back out, and then jump back in and be like, all right, I'm finally ready to take this serious.
Yeah.
Well, if
And
you
then
would have
take two
just,
courses in between.
you, yeah,
I'd be
after
like, I went with
taking,
another guy and it wasn't working.
so I'm actually under the impression, and Aaron, maybe you can like throw this in there, with me. If you're consistent enough at anything, like in any business, you'll be successful at it. That's my thought process behind it. right? Like, um, I think if you just stay in something long enough, you're just going to dominate eventually. Because I think the way that I view it now, right, is the longer I'm in it, number one, the better I get, but also the more people, like the more competitors just kind of fall off as well, right? Like, because I know most people won't stick it out as long as I will. And I think that by default, just being able to have that level of consistency
Yeah.
makes me win, right? Um, your thoughts on consistency, Aaron? I know you're incredibly consistent with a lot of your life.
When one is consistent with something and they're combining it with the correct actions, which is very important. If you take incorrect actions, we're going to get incorrect results. But we got good negotiating, we got the marketing down, so we're doing the right things. Now we just have to be consistent. There's a compounding effect that happens. In the book Atomic Habits, it talks about if you get 1% better every day, in a year, you're 37 times better. 2 years, you're 1,400 times better. 5 years, you're 76 million times better. And um, I multiplied it over 10 years and it was over a quadrillion, which is above a trillion. It goes
Jeez.
million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion. And if you do it like 40 years, I just wanted to see like let's say someone did it for like 40 years straight and they were able to start super early. Like you hear about like the like the Rockefellers that started when they were 21. It's like it's million, billion, quadrillion, two, six, seven. It's like a duodec. It's like two duodec trillion. I'm not even saying it right, but it's so big. It's unbelievably crazy. So the point is that when you stay consistent, there's this compounding effect that happens because you're getting better. And what happens is when we consistently get better over time, your skills get your skills surpass any competitors that get to a point where they're comfortable and they're not getting better. And literally, you're just able to take over more market. And the other thing that's interesting is Atomic Habits. It talks about if you get 1% worse every day, there's the negative compounding that happens as well.
Yeah,
So what happens is if people are they're good for 3 days and they take a week off, they're good for 3 days, they take a week off, they never have the momentum, the compounding effect that happens.
I like that. So I think a lot of people, so I call it skill stacking, right? It is my word for it, but like there's a level of consistency there too that I think like consistency in and of itself is a skill, if we're being real. Um, like
It's a good
being able to
point.
do the exact same thing every single day for, I'll give you guys a really good example. I did a steak and eggs diet, and I'm actually back on that right now because um, I just like it. I'm much more aware and I'm just better. But my first round of 75 hard this year, I did steak and eggs every single day for 75 days. Incredibly difficult. But the level of consistency that it created, like that, and that now bleeds into other areas. And I think that's another thing a lot of people don't realize about consistency is it'll bleed over into other areas of your life, right? If you're just consistent at one thing, which I recommend health and fitness first, because that's where it'll most likely bleed over anywhere else. You can be consistent at work every day, but it won't bleed over to health and fitness, right? Um, that's just my thought process behind that. But we can say being consistent, but I don't think, and maybe Matt, you have a better definition than I do. How would Matt, how would you define consistency in your, sage words that you
Um, I'd say consistency is a byproduct of habit or pattern, right? So people say, character is it's if you want to reduce it down to the simplest terms, it's just what you do repetitively, right? So I would say that consistency is just who you are every day.
have?
Like what how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I don't think everybody looks at it like that. But like, let's just take an example. If a guy is, I don't know, late waking up, he's probably going to be late for work. He's probably going to be late to the gym. And I don't know, maybe he's going to be late to the bar or late for church or whatever. But like how most people do one thing is how most people do everything, right? And so I think everyone needs to realize that um, you are microdosing your character with what you do every day, regardless of whether you're deliberate about it, because it's both intentional and it's also subconscious, right? There are decisions we make deliberately, and then there are decisions we make that are automatic because we're not even thinking about it. It's just routine because that's who we are. So I would say that consistency is just what you decide to do or who you decide to be on a daily basis with all the big and little things that you do.
Mm, that's good stuff. That's why I love having Matt with his sage advice on here. Love that stuff. So yeah, all three of us on here are pretty consistent in what we do. Matt's consistent with consoles. I'm consistent with just I would say systems. That's what I love to do. I also think there's a level of like you have to love what you do to be consistent at it, right? Or the reward has to outweigh the maybe the love you have for it. Um, Either way, right? Aaron, you're consistent with Mercury, right?
Mhm.
Consistently fast payments, consistently communicating, consistently everything at this point. And it's, you know, I can see it from the outside, right? We're also consistently posting content now for Mercury and we're doing all of that stuff, right? So um,
Been podcasting consistently for about 110 episodes.
there's that too. Yeah. Or, a hundred, you have to be consistent to make 112 episodes, you know?
Yeah.
Like podcasting is no joke. Just saying, guys. There's a lot of prep work that goes into this stuff. Um, so Aaron, do you have anything else on consistency, man?
That's it. Think we wrapped, we covered it
Love it.
full.
Well, I would like to say this, kind of contribute this to the mix of conversation and those that are listening is, I think some people struggle with that. Like I'll look at like some Reddit feeds sometimes, or if you've ever read the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, he's a former Navy SEAL and military man. Um, he has a podcast, and I have people sometimes be like, "Yeah, how do I wake up on time regularly?" And he's
Ooh.
like, he's so savage. He's like, you get up in the morning. He's just like so direct and straightforward. But I think for anybody listening to this that is struggling with being consistent in their business, they need to create like a centerpiece, like just one little centerpiece of focus that they can dedicate to being consistent. And I think for most people, if they have like a centerpiece, like a ground zero thing that they can dedicate to being consistent with, generally it creates like this sort of holistic consistency that everything else can kind of rally around. So
Mhm.
I'm saying that to come back to the point that you were making, Chris, about like fitness and going to the gym, right? A lot of people they start going to the gym and their body starts to feel that, beautiful like endorphin boost that we all get, the feel goods, right? That gym high, that runner's high. And you start doing that consistently and you realize, oh, this is like adding a plus, it's like an up arrow or a green light in my life. And when you get that, it just becomes this little like beautiful small momentum that feeds and kind of causes a chain reaction in these other things. So for me, one small little habit I like to do that builds consistency is I wake up in the morning, I immediately turn the light on, and I make my bed. Because when I walk into my room, I feel more organized. Like I've done myself a small dose of miniature leadership by making my bed and making my room look less sloppy, right? And so that tells me, hey, look at me getting organized and set for the day. Like I'm doing myself a solid
Mm.
by doing this. And then I go out and I walk a mile around my neighborhood and use that for like prayer and reflection. And I do that literally every day to center my day and like get me going, like at you know, a really good, steady kind of pace, And so it's just one of those things that I've done now so much. It's part of who I am. It's a misnomer now. It's like non it's negligible to even think about whether it's going to happen because it happens by default because my brain's so used to doing it that now, discipline can go up or it can go down. Most people that have very inconsistent habits have great discipline. It's just going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people realize is like if you just turn that around, you can use that muscle like to aim your life up or down. And a lot of people don't. I don't even think they even think about it, but it's remarkable when you do.
Yeah. That's a great way to explain that. I love that. So that's on being consistent. That's probably one of the most important parts of this, of the main reasons people fail. Um, the next one, this is a big one also. Not as big as being consistent, but you buy too narrow a range of items, right? So, Aaron, we've talked about this a lot. We talk about this a lot on the podcast, right? So, don't just buy iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, right? Don't just buy Apple products. A lot of people pigeonhole themselves into just iPhones, for example, or iPads. And then they're like, oh no, I can't scale, or oh no, I'm stuck, or blah, 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 right? Once you start, like, I don't, I probably say this every single podcast, but if you can move, let me tell a story real quick. I have a lot of people that are stuck around the $3,000 to $5,000 month mark, and they'll reach out and be like, Chris, um, I'm stuck here. How do I grow? And I'll ask them. I always ask this question: how many devices are you buying per customer? And they're always like, oh, well, one, duh. You know, they always say it like I'm stupid. Like, it's like, well, you think if you just moved that from one to two, you'd make more money?
Wow.
It's the easiest way to double your business. Like, just buy a good example, guys. So this month, right now, I'm sitting at 3.1 devices per customer. 3.1. How many meetups have I had this month? 11. How many devices have I bought? Let me actually look. I think it's like 30 something.
There we go.
Like, but like that's what I'm saying. I think it's 32. Yeah, I'm at 32 items right now and only had 11 meetups. Um,
Right. And today is the 17th.
yeah, and I started retracking because I've been with the baby and everything. We've been building Mercury, and Mercury is at a place now where it's really kind of self-sustaining. So I'm back really doing local pickups heavy. I'm also building out more content for that, and then also building out Resell Deck with some updates. And the best way to do that is just, be in the game. So I'm buying 3.1 devices per customer right now. Okay. My average profit for the month so far is $121 per device. Profit net 121. Okay. Um, so the easiest way to increase the amount of money you make is by increasing the amount of devices you buy per customer. Okay. And Aaron talks about this in the video, where he talks about adding consoles, cameras, ThinkPads, Garmin, watches, Zebra scanners, and other laptops and wearables. Aaron, do you want to tap in on that? I know you've made stupid profits on things outside of phones, just like I have.
Yeah, and I would like to comment
Reason is,
before Aaron says anything. Aaron at one point sold like umpteen satellite something, Starlink stuff. You should
Oh
talk
yeah.
about that. I want people to hear that story because it was awesome.
I did. I bought some satellite. I forgot what it was, but I remember I bought it. I remember I sold it. The, sometimes people just message you and they got random stuff you're not sure what it is. But when you have the right formula, you can just follow the formula and you know what to buy it for to make a profit, even if you're not really sure what it is. Like I'm not even really sure what a ThinkPad is. I think I mean, it looks like a laptop. It does something, but it's
It does
so,
something.
yeah, it does. It's got a plug, so it's an electronic.
That's funny.
The
Love that.
What's great about buying these other items, in my experience, is you can make a lot more money because they're a lot less competitive.
Stuff, random stuff.
Just like that.
Just like I don't even know what the hell this is, but I bought it for $40 and it's going to sell for about 160. So
See, that's it right
I don't
there.
even know what it is. It's some Zune handy recorder thing.
Yeah, it's a microphone. It records audio.
Okay, I didn't. I mean, I just looked it up on eBay and turned it on.
A lot of competitors that buy phones won't buy these other items. Some do, some won't. But I know there's a lot of people in my area, they'll just buy like just the Apple stuff, the Samsung stuff like that. So I've noticed that these other items I can generally lowball more and still get the offer accepted because there's nowhere else to sell them. My largest single profit day is where I picked up these ThinkPads, which again they look like laptops, and I made about 15,000 profit on that pickup. I
That's
met up
wild.
with him. He had like eight of them. Then I met up with him a few hours later. He had like 21 of them or whatever.
Oh my
So in
gosh.
one day, I met up with him twice. I sold them all within about half a week. It was about 15,000 in profit. The
Wow.
last item I picked up was a high-end camera. Paid 2,550 bucks, and I sold it for $4,000 after shipping and fees, $825 in profit. Now, I still love the phones, and the majority of the stuff I pick up is still the phones, and still the phones and iPads and stuff like that. But, when you can make 300, 500, $1,000 on some of these unique items, even if you just pick up a handful of them, it really supplements and really helps out your business.
Mhm.
And it's a really good thing to do. And I think of it's like a pie. Let's say there's like iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, Samsungs, Google Pixels. And then let's say there's gaming consoles, like what Matt teaches. There's high-end cameras. There's ThinkPads. There's
Dude, there's all
random,
sorts of stuff. Like
right. There's
example.
like,
So right here, I have these Mac Studios, right?
Mhm.
I've never seen one of these before. But a guy hit me up from a Google ad the other day and or Google My Business. And he was like, "Hey, I have these." And I looked it up and I was like, "Okay, these look like they're selling really well, but they're barely selling. Like there's not many of them selling, right? The last ones that sold were over a month ago."
Yeah.
So I hit him with $800 each. And he was like, "Nah, I'm good." And I'm like, "All right, no problem. If anything changes, let me know." And he's like, "Could you pay cash today?" And anyway, so these right here
Important words.
right now, they're listed on my eBay account. They will likely sell this week for $2,500 each. 2,500 each. I bought them for 800 each.
That's insane.
So like it's stuff like that where like we talked about on the last podcast with Catherine, right? Like and Catherine sells phones to Aaron, but she flips a lot of cameras. Like and she makes stupid money doing it, right? Like she made $2,100 in profit off of one deal, one camera. Like, so this is where a lot of people are missing out. Is like Aaron said a minute ago, if it has a cord and it's an electronic, I'm probably going to buy it if it's worth it,
Mhm.
right? Like, you don't necessarily need to understand every single device. Like, as soon as you get your hands on it, you buy it, you test it out, bam, it's like adding a tool to your belt at that point, right? It's like, okay, I bought this thing. I bought this Zune recorder, right? I've never seen one of these before. I bought it. I got to test it out. Okay, cool. Looks good. Turned it on, made sure it worked. Cool. I sold it and, it gets delivered. Everything's cool. Okay, great. Well, now I can go buy more Zune recorders because now I know what they do and how they work and
Yep.
what's probably supposed to turn on whenever I turn it on,
Yeah.
right? So like I call phones the gateway item, right? Because like in my opinion, that's what leads to everything else. Because
Yeah.
everybody has a phone. But if you look on people's Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi's, typically they have like 10 devices connected to Wi-Fi. That's a lot of money, guys.
It
Like,
is.
and most of the items you're going to make more in profit off of those than you will the phones.
yep.
Example, the other day I made $800 in profit on a drone. On a drone. Okay. And
Yeah.
I got to fly it around. It was freaking cool. You know?
Mhm.
I bought mini drones now and every single time they've been massive profit. Every single time. Because guess what? My competitors aren't buying them.
That's right.
And most of my competitors don't have the money to buy them. That's another big reason too. um, maybe we can talk a little bit about that. But I like on one of the last podcasts, I think somebody was saying that there was like people would reach out to phone shops and they would like, oh yeah, I can buy it. I just don't have the money right now. What? Like guys, you don't have as much competition as you think. Um, and then on top of that, like if you start buying items outside of just iPhones, you will be much more valuable to your customers. You will get more repeat business. I can't tell you guys how often I get repeat businesses like, "Hey, do you buy this too?" And then I do, and then they sell it to me and I make more profit. And then more profit. And like that happens over and over again, right? So, yeah, buy more stuff. Like and if you need help learning how to buy more stuff, then join Resellerator because that's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
Learning how to sell on eBay is a massive skill.
Huge.
Um, Aaron,
Gosh.
I'm assuming you still sell a lot on eBay. even though we do sell to a lot of direct buyers, other DBs, but um, I'm assuming you still use eBay like crazy.
Well, yeah, that's where I sold that high-end camera. I made
Yeah,
825. Yeah, direct buyers don't buy. I mean, you guys can pull up Mercury's price sheet. Direct buyers are great for certain items,
yeah,
but there's certain items that, direct buyers just don't really buy, like high-end cameras. And even though we are buying some gaming consoles now,
we are. Yeah, heck yeah, working on that.
but yeah, like the drones and high-end cameras, we're not, at that point, at least at this time. So it's great. It's like a tool. Direct buyers are a tool. You use eBay as a tool. Just like reach out's gonna be a tool, and then also Google Ads gonna be a tool, and also
Mhm.
Facebook leads gonna be a tool.
Yeah,
Just
love
yeah,
it.
tools.
Buy more stuff, guys. There's a lot more deals out there. And if you are struggling with lead flow, just start asking what else people have, and then just start listing items out that you buy. I do what I call an upsell sandwich. So in the beginning of the conversation, whether it's Facebook or Google, I'll let people know exactly what I purchase immediately. Right? I buy, phones, MacBooks, iPads, smartwatches, cameras, drones, gaming consoles, etc. And then at the end of the conversation, I hit them again. Right? I want multiple devices per person. I don't like working that much on the reselling side. I want to buy as many devices per customer because guys, I don't run around. I don't drive to people at all. Like that's not my thing. I just won't do it. I don't have time for that. Um, so let's move on to the next one though. You buy on hope instead of math. Aaron, you want to elaborate on that one a little bit?
We only want to buy stuff when we know we're going to be able to sell it for a profit. So that could be to a direct buyer. All right, Mercury's paying 500 bucks. You're going to buy it for 380. Great. You're going to make about 120 bucks, maybe $5 for shipping. You're going to make about 120 bucks in profit. Or if it's going to be like a high-end camera or drone, you know, like Chris was saying, then we go to eBay, we figure out what it's going to sell for on eBay, then we subtract our profit, and then we get a number. But we never ever just want to buy something and hope or think we're going to make money on it. Did a call with one guy. He's like, "Oh, I picked up this phone, and I forgot what he paid." It's like I paid 100 bucks for it because figured I could sell it and make more because it has 5 cameras.
What? He really
And I
said that?
said, "Yeah."
Oh
And I
gosh.
said, "How do you know you'll be able to sell it and make more?" Well, it's got 5 cameras on it. Figure it's probably one of the newer ones, so it's gonna be I should be able to sell for more. I said, "You said you should, but how do you have any proof?" And he just kind of kept repeating it. And then I said, "Well,
Oh.
now that you know, we never want to do anything like that. We want to figure out what the item they have is, have some sort of formula that we use to
Yeah.
know what we're going to be able to sell it for, subtract your profit, and then make the offer. That's how we do it."
Has 5 cameras. Should sell for $1,000. $200 per camera. Okay.
Yes, speculation is a really bad business strategy, guys. Just want to
Yeah.
be clear about that, which is what Aaron's saying. Hope. It's not a strategy.
Not a strategy at all. So you say in the 9 videos, you said you need a clear resale path and margin for everyone. Your floor is aimed for $50 minimum net after shipping, gas, everything. A healthier target is between 65 and $120. Higher ticket should yield in the hundreds. Um, so hope is not a margin but a buyer sheet is, right? We got the
Heyo.
buyer sheet, Mercury gives exact pricing. Um, I get messages all the time on people like, how do I use the sheet? Well, there's a fancy little video in the sheet, by the way. Um, and I point them towards that and they'll tell me that they don't want to listen, they don't want to watch that. And I'm like, well, then I probably don't want to hang out with you and talk to you. So
Wait, that is fascinating that people
I
do
just
that.
won't, I won't answer your questions anymore, bro. Like, as soon as you start hitting me with, I don't want to watch that video or I don't want to read that, great. We're not working together.
I'm sorry, I've just got to pause for a moment to acknowledge the level of entitlement that people would expect someone like Chris, to do that much work and then commit to come zero. Like, I won't meet you anywhere in the middle. Like, that is,
I had one
don't be in a
person reach
business if
out
that's you.
last week And he was like, "Can you send me a list of your services?" And I was like, "Sure, here you go." He's like, "I'm not going to read all that." I'm like, "All right, cool. Then I'm probably not going to work with you."
Yeah.
Like, I won't do it, guys. Like, if you come to me with those types of questions and you're not going to put anything in, I'm just not going to. The conversation's over at that
Yeah.
point. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care.
That's not
So
entrepreneurship. That's wantrpreneurship, guys. That's what that
go to the
is.
sheet, watch the video. Guys, I can't stress enough how valuable the Mercury sheet is. There is a ridiculous level of videos and help inside of that sheet that most courses don't give. Okay, just I want to be very clear about that. Like Aaron has done a lot of work to make sure that you guys have as much detail as possible to give you guys. It goes back to this whole thing right here, right? Like you're buying on hope instead of math. The
Mhm.
sheet gives you the math, and then it gives you the how to use the math on top of that. Okay. So make sure that you're using the sheet to make it work for you. Because
Yeah.
all you got to do is go find the sheet, figure out what Aaron's paying for, two 15 Pro Maxes that I got yesterday that got to go out to Aaron today. Um, Figure out
Mhm.
like what he's paying. I think it was 440 or something. What did I pay? I paid 300 for them both, each 600 total. Okay, so now
Creative profit.
gross 140 something in profit minus the shipping, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, now I know. Now I know exactly what I'm going to make, and I knew that before I ever even met up with the person. Okay, that's all I had to know. Right? And here's the crazy thing. I also bought this Samsung with it. This one's going on eBay because I'll make a little bit more money, right? Because it's a Samsung. And it's, the not whole Knox guard thing, whatever. It doesn't have it, but it could. But I went to the sheet anyway, and I'm like, well, what is Aaron paying? Well, he's paying this amount. Okay. I know Aaron pays a little bit less on Samsungs just because of that issue, right? I think it actually said ask, but then I used it on grade C or something like that. And I was like, well, he's paying this. I could probably get a little bit more on eBay, but I used the sheet anyway to make the offer. That way I had proof on what it was going to sell for if I couldn't sell it on eBay.
Mhm.
See what I mean? Like
Yeah.
use the tool. It's an amazing tool. So don't buy off of hope. I have a funny story about this too. I had a guy in my area who was a quote unquote competitor, and this dude was just firing off numbers on what he could buy my devices for. I sent him, I think it was like an iPhone 13 Pro Max and stuff like that, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay $800 for that." And I'm like, "What? Okay, that's crazy." Um, and to make a long story short here, he never responded to me after confirming to meet up and everything. So because he was just firing off numbers. Okay, he obviously didn't know what he was doing. All right, so hope is hope is not a strategy. So make sure you're getting your prices correctly. Use the direct buyer sheet. Use Mercury.
Yeah.
Um, all right, and here we got two more. The next one is you hold your inventory for too long.
Oh, I got to move it quick. Yes,
Got to move it fast,
you got to
man.
move it quick. And the
Got it.
reason is these items, there's multiple reasons. One, these items aren't going up in price. They're electronics. They're dropping in price, right? They're not like some,
Straight up.
yeah, appreciating asset or something like that. The second thing is we want to move it so we get more capital. And the third thing, we want to move it just so it's kind of out of our head. We don't have to think about it. Move stuff very, very, very quickly. Um, Anything that I pick up, 99% of everything I pick up is gone within half a week because I've either listed it on eBay and it's sold in a couple days or,
Three
you
to four
know,
days. Yeah.
right,
Awesome.
right, right, 100%. Or before I was a direct buyer, I'd put it in the direct buyer pile. Um, and that's totally fine too. If like, we have some people that send stuff in the Mercury maybe once a week, or they wait, but it's already sold. If it's sold to Mercury, or you know that it's already sold, you just haven't shipped it off yet because maybe you're waiting for 5 or 10 or 3 pieces or whatever it is.
I don't
But we
do that.
want to
Yeah.
just have stuff stockpiled.
I ship that stuff as fast as possible because every Monday the prices change. Like I'm aware of that. And I'm
Yep.
like, all right, I need to get this in hopefully before Monday, you know?
Yeah.
Like And
Yeah.
Aaron pays on the weekends, so that's kind of nice. Most direct buyers
That's
don't do that, so which is
that's
very nice.
sweet. Getting paid on the weekend, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's not something that's normal. All right, I'm back. Somehow my computer just stopped working. Anyway, what were we talking about?
So,
Holding
we were,
inventory too long, right?
yep, yep. And well, I was posing a question to Aaron about what the from a direct buyer perspective, what is an ideal seller? Because all the people that are sending to direct buyers would technically be resellers, generally speaking. Um, so, what does the ideal customer look like from his vantage point? And how can you kind of determine that? Like, what would be some helpful tips for people that are wanting to send in product, and what would be like some of the common mistakes people made that disallow them from getting paid the optimal value for their devices. Like packaging it poorly, not being thorough in the way they investigate their product and still expecting more, all those kinds of things that, you know, uh, create disparity between like the seller experience and the direct buyer experience and trying to kind of like close that gap. Is that is that phrased well enough to kind of riff on that, Aaron?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a few things. The first thing is before you ship us an item, sending us the tracking number or putting a piece of paper in the package with your phone number, because we need to have a way to identify that it's your item. I have right here one, two, three, four packages of stuff that people have sent to us that I don't have the tracking number for, and they didn't put anything in the box to say what item it was. So the stuff is just sitting here. And
Okay.
if they don't claim it today, the price will drop on Monday. So they're going to get a lower price for it. So you got to have something to identify that stuff with. It's rare. It's rare we have this many, I call it lost and found stuff, but it does happen. The second thing is grading and making sure they go through the grading videos. That's very important. On Mercury's tab, Mercury's that document, there's a section called grading, and it's got grading and going through that, especially B plus, B, and B minus, because that's smaller details. It's a
Yeah.
lot more subtle, the difference as far as what's considered B plus, B, and then B minus. And I'd say probably the most confusion we get is a combination of one, where people think it's a higher grade of one of those, right? Like it's got a few light scratches on it. So it's nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
it's a few light scratches and they think it's B plus, but really that's just regular B grade.
Yeah.
It's that. And then also sometimes there are cracks that they're not aware of that they didn't check. So, and we're happy to send videos and we do it all the time.
Right.
And we have no concern with doing this whatsoever. We're happy to do it, but making sure that you check the whole front and the whole back, because even a little chip, if it's through the screen,
Yeah.
so a chip is just another way of saying a crack. If even if it's a scratch, but the scratch is deep enough where it penetrates through the entire glass, that's just a roundabout way of saying the item's cracked.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if it's a scratch is a scratch, that's fine. But understanding that. And then I'd say the other thing is if it has many deep slash medium scratches, that is C grade. That's all covered in the grading videos as well. In the
Right.
grading videos, we have examples of what each grade is in words.
Yeah.
We have videos explaining it and showing it to you so you can see it in real time, and then we have photos. So
Yeah.
I would say that are the main things. Other than that, it's we get your package, we send you a list of what you have, and then it's any questions you have, you can let us know. We send videos and photos all the time explaining stuff. We're happy to do that as well, but that would make it kind of just smooth out the process, understanding that and understanding the price sheet. And it's really just going through those grading videos. It's probably take you half an hour, an hour. You get through all those, and you have a really good detailed understanding of that. And in those grading videos, we talk about other stuff too, like if it's got a parts message
Yeah.
and it's a non-genuine part, that's a deduction. But all that's covered in the grading videos. And you just go through it one time, and you have that information for life.
That's really helpful. I think that that is so important for resellers managing their expectations because there is a lot of back and forth between, what people expect to get and then what they actually get. And guys, it doesn't like I I have a similar understanding regarding consoles because I'm not as much of a phone flipper. I resell phones from time to time, guys. But I know Aaron to be a very thorough individual with a great work ethic, and I'm sure that I'm sure it would be so helpful for him to to have people trying to help this process. So, anyways, um, yeah, thanks, dude. That was really, really helpful.
Also on that, guys, I use this all the time. I call it blaming a third party. I also go over it in Buyback Revolution. Um, I will blame my buyers all the time. So I'll blame Aaron all the time, right? For the price that I can pay the customer, right? You're like, oh, my buyer, he's deducting for this amount and blah, 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 right?
Yep.
Like, oh, there's a scratch here that stops my fingernail. Here, check it out right there. My buyer deducts for that, right? It's not me. It's not my fault, right? It's my buyer's fault. But they're never going to know the buyer, so it doesn't matter, right?
Fair. Yeah.
So, like, you can use all that stuff to your advantage, and it works. So, last thing before we wrap this thing up, um, the last one that Aaron talks about, last reason is you refuse to fix your weak links. It's the last one. And I think you mentioned in that video, my area is slow, is what most people say, right?
What a bunch of, I hate that shit.
That's okay. So that's obviously a trigger for Aaron. So it's just like the Google, CPC thing for me.
Oh
Um,
boy. Oh boy.
so my area is slow. This is usually code for I have weak ads, weak negotiation, or I just suck, right? Like that's most of the
Yeah.
time it is.
So your area is not slow. You just don't know the right actions to take to find or get people that have items that come to you. Your area doesn't have bad items. You just don't know how to create your ads in the right way to get people with the good stuff to come to you.
Yeah.
You don't have tough leads. You just don't know the right words to get them down in price. We want to take some responsibility for our business because that's the only way that we can then control it, control the outcome, and ultimately get a better outcome.
I like,
Or you
yeah.
can just keep blaming the market, make no money, but at least you got an excuse you can go to bed.
Yeah.
No, it's well said because, otherwise we're all perpetually at the mercy of our circumstances. Is that what we want to give all the power to? We just want to like say, oh, it's the market. You know, it is what it is. You can't change it. It's like, well, what factor can you change? Yourself. Which is precisely what Aaron's saying. And I like it, evaluate, like take meticulous notes in detail as to what can be changed and then impact those areas and watch your business grow. Watch your numbers become something completely different than what everybody else is experiencing. And they can continue complaining about how they're at the mercy of the market. And you know what? I guess the rest of us will just kind of keep making profits.
hmm I have this I have people all the time. They'll be like, "Well, Aaron's in Vegas." And I'm like, "Do you know how many phone flippers are in Vegas?
Bro,
Like, do you have any idea? Like,
that's
there's a
true.
lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot."
I can think of four right now.
Go ahead,
Three
Aaron.
of the two of them are in your program, Chris.
Yeah, yeah, three of them
My
are in my
response,
program. So,
well, you should move out here. If you think it's easier out here, be proactive, move out here, compete up against me and two other people that are in your program, Chris, that have your Google ads on my script. You'll see how easy it is.
Three other
Go
people.
ahead, move out here.
you got RJ, Catherine, there's another one out there.
Yeah.
Like, like, guys, like, yeah, I think that's so funny when people hit me with that and they're like, "Well, Aaron's out there and you're in Houston." I'm like, "Do you know how many phone flippers are in Houston?" Bro, like half of them live in Houston and Dallas, you know? Like, come on.
What? You should pull up all the students in your program that make $100,000 a year plus in profit. Be like, oh,
Yeah.
what about this person? Because there's examples of people that are in small towns, big cities, people that are women, people that are men. We had Remy in the older program. He was working, he had a wife, two kids. He was working 60 hours a week at his job. He still managed to do this program. We had
Crazy.
that one lady, I forgot her name. She was in the older program as well. And she was like 60 years old. She got to the, you have people like Chris Kripe, doesn't fucking have a car. I don't know if he still lives with his mom. I think he was living with his mom at the time,
He did
waking
not
up
have a
at three
car
in
for
the
a long time.
afternoon,
Yep,
making $6,000 a month in profit.
bro.
So there's examples of people that were in worse situations than the people that have the excuse and making more money.
Straight up. And Chris can vouch for this. I've taught four other people in Tulsa how
Yep.
to resell consoles, right? And I still make profit reselling consoles in a city of 500,000 people, right? So everybody put that in your proverbial pipe, light it up, and take a hard toke and smoke it. Okay? It's not your circumstances. Like it's you. And if you're willing to take responsibility for that, um, yeah, you could start a massive change in your business right now.
I think it's all about the
100%.
common denominator, right? Like, what's the common denominator? Well, I see all these other people doing this, um, but for some reason, people go the opposite way, right? And they're like, ah, they were just born with it, or they're in a better area, or blah, blah. Like they just make shit up. Um, and like it's just learning the skills, guys. That's all it is. I
Yeah,
remember, so example, Victor, right? He was on the podcast a couple episodes ago.
yeah,
He had his own way of negotiating. He was making about 5,000 in profit a month, right? He started implementing Aaron's negotiations because he bought the program. He was going to take
right.
it seriously, and he
Yeah,
did. He went in 30 days, went from 5,000 a month to 20,000 a month
that's wild.
profit by just switching up little bitty things,
Yeah,
doing it the right way. And he talked about it on the podcast. He's like, yeah, I just started talking the way Aaron talked.
yeah,
And I just started copying and pasting what he said to do.
yeah,
And lo and behold, like stuff like it, the stuff just magically happens, obviously, right? Like
yeah.
it is what it is,
You
whatever.
join Recelerator, you get a bag of fairy dust, guys, some
Yeah.
special beans, and you put them in the ground, and it grows consoles. It's
If
crazy.
anything, I would say it gets harder once you join Recelerator. Like you're forced into skills at that point, right? And you either sink or swim, right? Like
Yeah,
we're gonna blow your mind with how much like there is, like starting off, because a lot of people hit me up and they're like, "What else can you teach me?" And I'm like, "Bro, I probably can't teach you anything with that type of mindset anyway." But yeah,
yeah,
so um, so once again, my area is slow. Everybody's prices are high in my area and blah blah. Guys, like the other day, there was a guy who had a Valve Index listed for $850. I bought it for $470. Once again, what Aaron teaches, right? It's the price somebody wants for their thing and what they're willing to take are two very different numbers. And you just need to understand that. Once you there I was watching Peacemaker a few weeks ago with my wife, right? And there was something in that called bird blindness, right? And I was like, like it was funny and it was quirky and it was kind of dumb, but I was like, we need to like have offer blindness, like price blindness. We shouldn't even be looking at the price people want anymore,
yeah,
right? We should just make an offer. Like
yeah.
and just go from there. Like stop looking at the price before you talk to somebody. So, um, we'll leave off with this line. I see Aaron starting to work.
Oh
So
yeah, sorry. We got
no, it's all
so many
good.
packages
Do
You
your
got to
thing,
pack
man.
stuff up. I get it.
Do your thing, bro.
So anyway, there's a line that I think Aaron says in the video. We're all born knowing nothing. I don't know is acceptable. Staying there is not.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like this. Chris is doing research on me and giving me my own quotes. Boost my
Yeah.
ego.
No,
that's
right?
true.
Yes.
I'll add,
And
I'll add, I'll add my own spin to this, guys. It's okay to accept noble failure, okay? But repeated failure is completely unacceptable. And if you're failing repeatedly, it might be time to look in the mirror. Okay.
Yeah. Ignorance is okay. Right, guys? Like not knowing something is okay. It's not a big deal. But you live in the age of information. You live in the age of AI. There's no reason to not know something at this point.
Fair point.
Like crazy. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up with that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Going over the 9 reasons people fail with Aaron Goldstein. If you guys have devices that you are looking to sell and you want to get paid well for them and get paid quickly, make sure to grab the price sheet in the comment, the first comment below, and the description, so you can look at it, use it, all that stuff. And then also check out all the other stuff that's below that. Aaron, do you have any final thoughts?
Feel like we beat people up today, which was good. We made some awareness and
Beat
stuff.
him up, yeah. Got to beat him
Maybe
up with
not
some
beat them up. Maybe
awareness.
that's not the right words. But the good news is you can be ignorant in any area. Doesn't mean you're stupid. You just don't know. Just like Chris said, we're all born babies. We don't know anything. But
Yep.
if you have the desire to learn this stuff, and the great thing is you don't have to learn it all right away. You learn a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow. You just get that 1% better we talk about.
Yep.
6 months or a year from now, you can really have some really solid skills. And you can see your business in a totally different place than it is now, a business you'll probably be very pleased with.
I love that. 6 months to a year, guys, could quite honestly change your life.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
going to sell you guys on like your business is going to change next month because
yeah.
that's not fair to anybody. But if you put 6 to 12 months consistent effort in this business specifically,
Yep.
you will have a $10,000 a month cash flowing business within that time frame if you do it correctly.
Yeah.
So, um,
Go get it.
with that being said, sell Mercury some devices like I am. I gotta send these two in today. So make some easy money for myself. And oh, I got paid by Aaron today as well. So
Watch
money
out.
dropped in the account today. So yeah. With that being said, guys, you guys have a great day, great weekend. We'll see you guys next week and later. Bye.